I'm just going to kick off by spending about 5 minutes talking about some of the employee engagement results to this part of the survey. One of the most important things when we speak to contact centres is around, look, absenteeism feels like it's getting worse. Attrition, it's getting worse. So it's kind of like, is the sky really falling in? Or as Tim Buzzer said, is it a great opportunity? Because we see a range of scores across a lot of different questions, and we see a range of metrics, and perhaps a lot of the time our mind goes to the worst case scenario, or we focus on where things aren't going really well. But at the moment, with regards to employee engagement, there really is a wonderful opportunity, and there are plenty of contact centres who are doing it well. One of the most important things is frequency of measurement of employee engagement. Many contact centres will do an annual or sometimes a biannual survey. The agent will complete the survey, the results will go to HR, HR will have a look at it, and then they'll put it in their drawer. And that's a real shame because it does two things. First of all, the data becomes out of date extremely quickly. And secondly, when that agent is asked 6 to 12 months later to take another employee engagement score, they kind of don't really care much about it. They haven't been asked to buy into the process. So regular engagement surveying of your agents is really important, but sharing the results is absolutely key, particularly if you've got bad results. Be visible with them. Say, hey, this was our employee engagement score. Let's put it up on the whiteboard. We're not happy with this score. And we want to talk to you and provide visible feedback around what we're going to do to improve our employee engagement score. That alone will show your agents you are making an effort just through visibility. The average on our previous report out of 100 for the employee engagement score was 75.6. What do you think the number's gone to in this report? Put your hand up if you think employee engagement has gone up in the last 12 months. Put your hand up if you think it's gone down. So more think it's gone down in this room, which is very different to when we're in Brisbane. They're more optimistic, perhaps. It has gone down, so you're more correct than them. It's gone down by 1.6 points, which is not a lot, but it is a softening. This is one of the most bizarre findings, and it happens every year. Regardless of whether the scores go up or down, the majority of contact centres actually feel that the score's gone up. So I think sometimes there's a bit of bias in our thinking that, hey, we have been trying though, things are getting better. So 84% think it's the same or better, whereas the reality is it has gone down a little bit. So we need to make sure that we're really honest with ourselves. Otherwise, we're perhaps thinking that we've got more engaged employees than we really have. The best and the worst scores. So the top 20% of contact centres had an employee engagement score of 85 or above, and the top 10% had 87 or above. So if you're in the room and those numbers are sounding about where you're sitting, then you're doing extremely well. You're doing extremely well. I'm seeing a few frowns. The bottom quartile, if you're 70 or under, that's where you're in a lot of trouble. That's where you're in a lot of trouble. And if your score is at that level, you're probably also experiencing things like very high absenteeism and very high attrition. We like in the report to be able to highlight contact centres that are doing extremely well. So we had about 22 contact centres that were in the top 10% because we had 220 contact centres participate. We asked all 22 would they like to be named, and these 5 said yes. The rest weren't allowed to or didn't want to. But what you can see from this list, and shout out, I think we've got Alinta in the room. Put your hand up if you're in the room and you're on the screen right now. We've got a couple of people. Find them and have a chat to them. What's interesting from this list, though, is we do have contact centres of all shapes and sizes. So despite larger contact centres averaging poorer absenteeism and poor attrition, there are still some very good examples of large contact centres with strong employee engagement. This is a little bit of a worry though. When we've asked contact centre managers at the top and then frontline agents at the bottom, how likely are you to recommend your organisation as a place of employment for family and friends? The frontline agent averages dropped from 7.5 to 6.8, which is concerning for a couple of reasons. It means they're not enjoying their work as much. But from a practical sense too, a lot of contact centres rely on frontline agents to refer staff. So that can be a real challenge, and if that's a challenge for you, I know someone from SMAART Recruitment who'd be happy to chat to you at the end of today. We asked team leaders, we asked senior leaders on the left here, rank these in importance to improving your employee engagement score from where it is today. They said leadership's number one, system and processes are number two, career development, flexibility, and R&R. In the next section, Nadine's going to get up and she's actually going to show what what agents rank as important for employee engagement. So keep this in your mind because, and you might even want to take a photo of it, what agents say is actually very different from what the senior leaders say. I just want to quickly mention Gen Z. So we have a lot of different demographics in our contact centre and we can't go through all of them, but the main demographic that is going to increase in its prevalence over the next 3 to 5 years and beyond is Gen Z. Now, Gen Z looks for very different things in their jobs, in their careers. Number one for them is purpose. Purpose in the work that they do. They want to be coming into the contact centre every day feeling like there is a great purpose to their work. Number two is a healthy, flexible working environment. They want to know that they're going to be looked after. Number three is a strong sense of community. Number four is ability to make an impact. And number five is living the principles of entrepreneurship and innovation. If you are like Justin Tippett and you've been in contact centres since 1990, imagine what the list was like back then around the top 5 things agents are looking for. We need to really move with the times as our workforce moves and our workforce changes. So I'd be having a think in your EVP. Are you highlighting these things? In your recruitment, are you talking about or highlighting these things? Because this is what the largest demographic that's going to increase in its prevalence in our contact centre, this is what they are looking for. And if they're not going to find it with you, then they're going to be very happy to leave and go to somewhere where they think they can get it. So the key findings in terms of employee engagement from the report is that frequent measurement is absolutely key. We speak to contact centres that do small pulse surveys. It doesn't have to be 25 questions that takes the agent half an hour to complete. It can be simple on-the-spot checks, which can really allow you to get ahead of the curve if there's something going on within your organisation. We need to embrace the changing demographics within our contact centre and understand the motivations of different groups. And there are plenty of examples. And you might be sitting here going, our contact centre, it is just so hard to lift that employee engagement. It feels to me like our agents want so much, and no sooner have we given them something than they ask for something more. But there are plenty of organisations that are doing it well, and hopefully our report can help you get an insight into how to do that.